What's up, everybody? This is Pallet Town Smeargle, and today we have our second and last battle with this team in the RU tier. Our opponent is bringing a really decent team. We see it is weak to stealth, where actually brings that intimidate, hip-hop dancing Hitmontop, which can do a number on a lot of our mons. And that Spore Amoongus is not going to be a fun time. Based on what he has on this team, I'm going to lead off with our Cobalion, because it can set up the rocks. It can also do a good number to some stuff on his team. So he leads off with the Garuda, nice nickname, Braviary, and a flying type attack will be neutral, but I'm actually going to switch out to my Dredigan to get some Rocky Helmet rough skin damage off on this thing. This may not be the best switch in. I could have just as easily gone out to our Do Blade, now that I'm thinking about it, which is what I probably should have done, because we would have not taken that superpower at all. But we do see he lowers his own attack and defense. And looking at his team, he has nothing that really wants to take a Dragon Claw. And knowing that we can take a move from him, and if he goes for a Brave Bird or anything that has recoil, we're going to be able to take that pretty decently. So he withdraws and goes out to Mr. Torg. Oh, Mr. Torg. Or Torg. I don't know if that is supposed to be Torg from Borderlands, but that's pretty awesome. Out comes the Hitmontop. He gets the Intimidate off. And I'm just going to stay in here with Dredigan, because we don't really need Dredigan, but getting a lot of damage off on Mr. Torg here is going to be nice. So he switches back out into his Simba, his Pyroar, which is a really good switch in. I wonder if it's time to reveal that we packed the Earthquake. Let's reveal it. Let's bring the Earthquake. Bring the pain. Probably thinks we're Choice Banded. Will-O-Wisp burns us, that's fine. Earthquake should still do a decent amount. Burn is going to do that, and so because... That's nice tech on that. I'm going to go for a Sucker Punch. So he switches out, but actually I shouldn't go for Sucker Punch. I should go for Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw should just take this thing down, and like I said, if we go down, we go down. This was kind of just in here to do some damage to his team. He switches out to Mr. Torg, intimidates us, we go for Sucker Punch and it fails. So we're like -4 attack right now. I might actually pull the switch out to, I'm going to pull the switch out to Slowking and kind of save this thing as death fodder for later. The reason I'm going into Slowking is I kind of want to force the switch on this Mr. Torg here. Toxic Mist, that was amazing for us. He predicted that switch nicely. Looking at his team, he might go out to his own Slowking here, or his Meloetta. I am going to go for the Scald here, though, because I'm going to try to fish for a burn on something. If he does stay in and we get poisoned, that is not going to be a toxic poison, that is not going to be a good time for us. We do have Regenerator, so we can kind of keep that at bay by switching out and resetting the Toxic counter. Toxic, we do get Toxic Poison. Scald comes in, it's going to do 40%, and we do not snag the burn. Right about now, I want to go for another Scald. But I also kind of want to switch back out to my Dredigan. I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch back out to my Dredigan to kind of reset the Toxic back down to its minimum, get healed back up from Regenerator, because I feel like Slowking is going to be vital to taking down that Pyroar. He goes out to NyQuil as I go out to Dredigan. This is really not a good place for us to be right now, but I'm just going to go for a Dragon Claw. As he switches back into the Hitmontop, yeah, we're going to get intimidated, but we're also going to do a decent amount of damage to we don't do nearly enough. Sludge Bomb is going to take us out, which is fine. Fine by me. Most of the time, these things are specially defensive, so I'm going to go out to Electros here, which does kind of give our opponent a bit of information, telling him that we probably pack the Fire Punch. But maybe we can play around with that. I do kind of want to go for the Fire Punch, just playing what's on the field in front of me, but I also feel like it would be beneficial to just U-turn out, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to U-turn out, because if we can force him to switch into that Slowking to predict the Fire Punch, if he does predict that, and we get U-turn damage off on that Slowking, that's going to be very nice. U-turn is also, I think, neutral against this thing and should do a decent amount. 16% is good. And because I think he's going to go for Spore, I'm actually going to go out to our Slowking, because we cannot get put to sleep. So we're already poisoned, so what does it matter? So there we go out to Slowking, and we predicted the Spore nicely. We are going to take some damage, but I'm going to go for the safe Ice Beam. I'm going to go for the Ice Beam. I know Fire Blast would do more, but if he does switch out to his Braviary for some reason, Ice Beam should do a decent amount. Giga Drain is not going to take us down, and that is going to put him in 2-hit KO range from an Ice Beam. Because of that, I think I'm actually going to switch out to my Houndoom to try to get, to predict the Giga Drain, and because we'll outspeed anyways. Oh, here comes the switch out to Barney, his own Slowking. I wanted to recover a bit, and actually being in here against this thing is pretty good, so I'm going to go for a Dark Pulse, because if Houndoom goes down, I'm okay with that. And here's why. Houndoom and Dredigan were the two Pokemon on our team that did the least to our opponent's team. And right there, we did a ton. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this because we can go back out to Electros and go for a Knockoff. Knockoff will kill this thing where it's at right now. And if he switches, it will do a huge chunk, plus knock off an item to anything else on his team. It just means that Doublade's going to have to put in the work later. We are in a tough spot. We're on the back foot right now. We've just been uppercutted in the jaw by having one Pokemon basically cut in half, that being our Slowking, and 2 getting taken out. But the 2 guys that got taken out were our least useful members. So out comes this NyQuil. Knockoff is going to come in and knock off its item, which is great. I am going to switch back out into the Slowking. No, because Giga Drain's incoming. I'm going to switch out into the Cobalion. Slowking comes out because of the cancel. That's fine. He's going to heal up. That's going to happen. 110, 90. I'm going for Fire Blast. Please hit. Please hit this Fire Blast, Slowking. This is what we need to have happen right now. This Fire Blast needs to hit. Ooh. Burn? Okay, this thing being in is good. I'm going to go out to Doublade here. And the reason being, if this is a Relic Song one, Relic Song will fail because of the Ghost type. We'll get some health back because of Regenerator, and again, we'll reset the Toxic counter. We're in a really, really difficult spot. We're going to need some things to happen in order for us to win. I'm not going to lie. I got to take a drink, so give me a second. Out comes the Pyroar on our Doublade switch, which is not good at all for us. Because the fire type attack is imminent, I think Electros can handle it. I think Electros can handle it. Dark Pulse. Good. We are Choice Scarfed. So I'm gonna go for a knockoff. Hoping he switches into something. If he switches back out into the Amoonguss, that's gonna suck for us. Bop. We knocked off its Choice Scarf, so we should outspeed right now. That's very, very useful. I'm gonna go back out to my Doublade. These are the kind of plays you kind of have to make when you're in this situation like this. Is a lot of switches and predictions. I'm predicting the superpower and going to my Dew Blade to kind of cancel that out. U-turn, that's fine. He's probably going to go out to his Pyroar. And him going for the Dark Pulse was kind of strange. Like, I mean, I guess he knew I wasn't going to switch into my Cobalion. I'm gonna predict the Dark Pulse again. And go out to Cobalion to get Justified boost. If he goes for Fire Blast and predicts this switch, if he was baiting me to do this earlier, Dark Pulse, we're gonna resist that. We're gonna get a Justified boost, which is probably gonna scare him out. Do I set up the rocks now? I'm gonna set up the rocks. Out he goes. In comes Barney. Stealth Rocks go up. And now I Volt Switch. This is why I like running Volt Switch on here. One, it's his only switch initiative move. But two, it's going to do a good chunk to this Barney. Which is a great nickname for Slowking, by the way. Not only because he's shiny, he looks like Barney, you know, from the kids show, but Barney just looks like a name that Slowking would have. Now I'm going to switch out. I'm actually going to switch out to my own Slowking, and the reason is I think he's going to switch into his Hitmontop right now. No, he wouldn't have. He would have already switched. I think he's going to go for a Psychic type move, and we should be able to resist that. And then I can switch back out to get a little bit more health. Out comes the Scald. We resist that just fine. We take some toxic damage. And I'm going to go back out to my Electros. I'm going to go back out to my Electros. Yeah, Electros should be good here because we can still go for knockoff. Out, and then in comes the NyQuil. Now this puts us in a bit of a difficult position, but a Fire Punch? We have not revealed we have Fire Punch, so Fire Punch should do a good amount of damage to this thing, and I don't think he expects it because of the way we've been switching around. Fire Punch, 35%, Giga Drain, we can take that to the bank any day of the week. I'm going to go for another Fire Punch here, because if he goes out into his Hitmontop or his Slowking, what have you, I think Electros is going to go down here, but that's fine. We didn't really need it for anything other than knocking off a whole bunch of items, which it knocked off a couple of things that really helped. So Fire Punch here is going to bring him down to 32. Giga Drain is going to bring him back up to probably 40%, which it does bring him up to 40%. We're going to go down. The only issue now is I don't really have a good switch in for this thing. So I'm gonna go out to Slowking because we're close to full health here. We should not take toxic damage. I don't think we should. Maybe we will. So I go out to my Slowking here. I think this switch in, which we kind of block him from switching into his Braviary. I think the only switching he has is his Meloetta. But I'm going to go for the Psyshock anyways. I'm going to do it. Because I don't want to over-predict him to go into the Meloetta, or his own Slowking. Which, he does go out into his own Slowking. Psyshock is not going to do a whole lot to this thing. And toxic damage is going to rack up on our side. Because of that, I'm going to go out to Dope Blade here, just to get more recovery. Try to reduce some of that toxic damage. Essentially, now, we've lost this battle. If we can come back in and win, and the reason, I'm actually curious as to why he has not gone out into his Hitmontop right now, to kind of check this thing. Unless he's running Fire Blast himself, based on how little that Psyshock did, I think I have a chance here to set up one Swords Dance. Wait a minute. Pyroar checks us hard, so I'm gonna go for Sacred. I didn't have a chance. Pyroar dies. Okay. And I get a Swords Dance off. That was beautiful. Pyroar dies to Stealth Rocks. I totally forgot he was that low on health. And the only thing I'm not going to be able to Shadow Sneak is that Braviary, because it is normal type, but an Iron Head with a +2 Swords Dance should take him out. Out comes the Meloetta. We cannot Shadow Sneak this thing either, so I'm going to go for a Sacred Sword, because it's neutral damage, but we're +2, so that kind of, it kind of means this is hitting like a super effective attack. T-Waves us, that's fine, we were kind of slow anyways. Sacred Sword is going to take this out. That T-Wave is pretty much his only hope. That's his Obi-Wan Kenobi of this. It does mean, however, that we aren't going to be able to be put asleep by that Amoonguss, which is real nice. Out comes Barney, and I'm going to go for a Shadow Sneak. Now, if he predicts the Shadow Sneak and goes out to his Braviary, that's gonna hurt, but not really. I have to play the field in front of me. I can't over-predict. I'm really curious as to why he's not running Rapid Spin on his Hitmontop. I might have to ask him about that at the end of the battle. Amoonguss comes out. Shadow Sneak should still do a good chunk to this. Our opponent forfeited. Wow. I did not think we had a chance. I thought we didn't even have a snowball's chance to win this one. But it looks like we just did. So I'm blown away. Alright. If you like the battle, go ahead and click that like button down below. Make sure you comment a set suggestion or a team suggestion you want to see me use. Or even just a Pokemon name. And we'll go from there. Smash the like button like I already said. Subscribe if you want to see more. Please help spread the channel around, make it grow. I'd love that. We need more people in Pallet Town, everybody. People aren't living here right now. We need to get some people living in Pallet Town. As always, thank you guys for coming out and watching the video. And this is Pallet Town Smeargle signing